and organizers who invited me to this national seminar on advancements of Ayurveda. The faculty, Ayurvedic Medical Organization, and the staff, students, and participants. Of course, my lecture I is supposed to give to you before lunch, but now it is descended down to the last but one. But of course, I know that you are exhausted, but still I'll try to refresh you with some of the inputs from my side. Before, this is an attempt to refresh you. There is nowadays evidence-based medicine, evidence. Because as I was one of the 8 members to identify the evidence in Ayurveda by WHO, there was a work assigned to us, and we screened around 480 papers published in Ayurveda, but we could able to trace only 8 evidences, 8 papers which has evidence as per the WHO norms. So now this has become a very casual word that evidence is needed for anything. But I am skeptic about that evidence. Why? Because when used correctly, evidence-based medicine incorporates evidence, physician's expertise, and also patient values. All these 3 must together be there, then only. Because we see several publications, but they are not practiced, they are not translated into the practice. But there are again the experiences which are not documented. These are all there in flaws in Ayurveda, but which we have to overcome. So that is what the David Sackett says, evidence-based medicine, what it is and what it is not. Good doctors use both individual clinical expertise and best available external evidence. Both merge it together, and they try, they practice, and they get the feedback from the patient, and then that will be a clear evidence for the practice. These are all the things which we need to think about whenever we say the evidence. And then individual clinical expertise with the best available external clinical evidence from the systematic research and patients' values and expectations. All these 4 are very important, you remember. Not only evidence. Evidence is, of course, a dry area, but of course, this may not be translated into the practice. So individual clinical expertise is needed, external clinical evidence, and with values and expectations, all these come together. So this is what I say, clinical expertise, patient's preferences, and research evidence. All these 3 merged together, you will be a good practitioner and good to translate the research works into the practice. Of course, we have also evidence. Our is experiential texts. Those are scriptural evidence, experiential evidence, research evidence, and patient complaints. All these are there even Ayurveda. But what we have been taught in our graduation and post-graduation. But why we need to attend this type of programs? This is also another, because some of you are medical officers, some of the students. But why we need? On average, a clinically important knowledge of physicians deteriorates rapidly after we complete our training. So our knowledge is focused only those areas where we are directly or regularly exposed. The remaining knowledge will go off, evaporates. It is a volatile. So we need to keep it intact, otherwise we will be nowhere. So that is the reason why this is actually a study conducted. This is a very slippery nature. You can see here how slippery our knowledge, which is now focused to only a certain areas, the remaining areas will become volatile. Now let us come to the point, that is allergy. So what is allergy? Of course, if you see the allergy, if you say a physician is asked to name any one specialty of medicine which affects approximately 25 to 30% of the population. And if you sit in your OP, you get at least 25 to 30% of the cases either from skin allergy or respiratory allergies. These are commonly we come across. So that is the reason why this is a very important area. This is the reason why WHO has established a Global Alliance Against Chronic Respiratory Diseases, that is GARD, G-A-R-D, GARD. So if you see the September 2007, almost it was around 17 years back, census shows lot of prevalence of the allergic respiratory diseases all over the world. Now it is further increased because of our pollution or so many factors which we are coming across. So if you go to the allergy concept, first it was by the Austrian pediatrician who coined this as allos is a Greek word and ergon meaning. That means there are two etymological derivation. If you see, the meaning changed or altered state. Allos means altered state, which is not homeostasis, which is something away from the physiological thing. And ergon meaning reaction, reactivity. It's reactivity to two. That means it's the reactivity to external things is changed. This is what we want, because that is the reason why I have taken both. Autoimmunity and allergy, both are very close. Some are that we will discuss in the subsequent lecture. This etymological derivation of the word allergy is very close to the concept of Ayurveda. That means our altered innate state, the homeostasis, what we say, swasthiti. Swasthiti is changed. There is some changes taken place in our actual nature of our body. So the atopy is also another word widely used for the allergy as a synonymous. And atopy is the genetic predisposition to make immunoglobulin E antibodies in response to allergen exposure. So once you are exposing to the allergen, immediately the body is very sensitive to produce the immunoglobulin E antibodies. So that is what actually the atopy is. So allergic rhinitis, allergic asthma, atopic dermatitis are most common manifestations of allergies. So these are commonly we come across. So the genes are also identified for the allergic nature because this is inherited. If the mother, father, anybody is having that, children can have the allergy nature. So that is what the proof is also identified. So allergic mechanism means these two important things are there in the allergy understanding. One is the important thing, while first time exposure may only produce a mild reaction, repeated exposure may lead to more serious reactions. That's what we see as a hypersensitivity reaction. If you study the hypersensitivity, the initial exposure may not be causing the fatal, but the second exposure is going to cause fatal. That is because the previous sensitivity reaction will have an overwhelming response on the subsequent exposure. So that is what we come across. Most occur within seconds and minutes after exposure to the allergen, but some can occur after several hours, particularly of the allergen causes. This we have several even examples can be quoted for that. The first exposure may not be, even drug idiosyncrasies also like that. In modern drugs, once they are exposed, then initially that is not there. So now the main culprit here is the both mast cells and basophils are involved in immunopathogenesis in producing the immunoglobulin. That is known to you. So I am not going to take much stress here because of the constraint of time. So you can see here how the allergen is going to trigger the immunoglobulin E, and immunoglobulin E, how it is going to destabilize the mast cell. Mast cell is going to release the autocoids, that is histamine, and how the histamine is going to manifest the symptoms. This is what simply it is, this phenomena is there naturally in our body, but it is a over response to the external factors. That is what the allergy is saying. So suppose if the mast cell activation and granules release, histamine is released, then what will happen? It can act on gastrointestinal tract, causing the expulsion of gastrointestinal tract contents. We see the diarrhea, food poison is taken place, food allergy is taken place. Similarly, we have airways problems, that what our core area of the today's subject, that is allergic respiratory problems. And blood vessels also can be affected that which causes even urticaria and other problems in the day-to-day life. So, window oil. So, the prime focus of Ayurveda is on Agni and Dosha. So, where we have to focus while dealing with the allergic respiratory diseases. This is our important area. In Ayurveda, the genesis of any disease is attributed to the imbalance of innate etiological factors, which are being disturbed by external factors like diet, lifestyle and environment. So, the very important thing is Agni and Doshas play an important role in causing pathogenesis, but their imbalance is resulted from erroneous Ahara and Vihara. This is very simple thing to understand, but because every disease we say the same. But allergic respiratory disorders are those which affect the upper and the lower respiratory tracts. The three prevalent disorders are commonly seen. That what I am focusing today. All Ayurvedic classics explain these disorders in a more comprehensive way. We have very good descriptions from the Charaka Samhita to the Vagbhata and Madhav Nidan also. So, allergic diseases in Ayurveda, the external factors in the form of erroneous diet, lifestyle and very important thing is disturb the physiological mechanism, that what the things are also narrated. So, once the very important thing which I want to is due importance is given to homeostasis. That means there is a Kshetra Pradhana. Our concept is Kshetra Pradhana, but means the seed is microbes or external factors are irrelevant as per Ayurveda. But still we take the due importance to some extent, but not complete. So, that is the reason why there is an example given. The example is unfertile seed. That is, the seed is very fertile, but unfertile soil it is sown, it will not give a sprout. So, that is the reason why in COVID also, 100% of population, 85% of population, they come across that, they can overcome that. Around 10% of the population, they need not need any major support, that is respiratory support from the hospitals. Only 5% of the population needed the respiratory support. That's why these variations are there. These variations are because of the Kshetra, their body. Their body, of course, COVID is not the factor here. How you react to the COVID is also the factor here. So, that is what the 85%, 10% and 5%, these are the statistics which the WHO has given. So, now the concept of allergies, if you go through the Ayurveda, they are scattered and scatteredly distributed in the context of Dushi Visha. Dushi Visha is a such condition, a Visha condition where Agada is used and still some residual of Visha is there, but waiting for the opportunity to manifest. That is one. Ama Visha is also another important area where the digestive system, if properly not digested the food, and these residue of the food, undigested food, can spread in number of diseases in the body. So, Viruddha Ahara, incompatible food, lot of descriptions are there about the Viruddha Ahara in Ayurveda. Those are also nothing but they are going to create the allergies in the body. So, under the disease headings of Pratishaya, Kasa, Tamakaswasa, Udarda, Kota, we have number of descriptions about the allergies. So, now coming to Dushi Visha, it is said, Dushi Visha as such is a Vabhichari Karan, that is, it is not a Pradhana Karan. This cannot create its own disease condition because of